Yo, it's Elut. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while, but it's good to be back. Hope you all have been doing well. And I'm making this video for a couple reasons. Reason number one, first order of business, is it's a great time to be a branded player on Master Duel. Branded kind of has always been decent to play on Master Duel. Like, it's never been bad on Master Duel, but especially now, they're doing this Rookie and Returner Mutual Follower campaign, which before they did it with Sword Soul. And basically, if you enter in anybody's code, if you're a new player or if you haven't logged in I believe the last 30 days, you can enter in as many codes as you find. Like, you can enter mine, or you can enter in a friend's, or freaking Galzo's. Like, as many as you find, just enter them. The more you enter, the more free stuff you'll get. The most important thing is you get a free structure deck on the first entry, and it's a pretty damn good start. You got your Brafu, max consistency, you know what I mean? You'll have to craft your Quems and like your additional Albaz stuff, but if you're on a new account, that'll actually be super easy to do. You get so many gems at the start, and starting off with Cartesia is also nice. Another quick tip is don't craft Fusion Deployment. That's an ultra rare, but you can just spend, instead of spending your UR dust on that, you can get one of the structure decks. It's this one, the Cyber Dragon structure. It's 500 gems per, and then you get fusion deployments in here too. So that's like slate cheat code there. That's also pretty nice. But I wanted to bring that up because if you have been skeptical of Master Duel for one reason or another, maybe it was Max C, which is at 2 now, by the way, and you want to play branded, get in there, dude. Get in there, man. Look at all this stuff. It's kind of nice. It's kind of cool. Gives me free stuff, gives you free stuff, costs absolutely nothing. So go ahead and do that. I made a community post, but just in case you didn't see that, I'm putting that out there right now. Because I know community posts don't really show up on desktop unless you go to the channel, and you'll see them just on like your mobile YouTube feed, which I still think is weird. But anyways, so that's out of the way. Second order business is I have been wanting to make Master Duel related stuff, not just for branded necessarily, but it would probably be mostly branded. And I just don't know exactly what people would want to see in that realm. Like, there's one commenter in particular that's been asking me to make Master Duel branded videos for a long time. You know who you are. And I just want to know, like, what you would prefer to see if I did that in addition to other things. Because if you'd prefer me to save replays and then go over replays, that's one thing. I gotta get my rank back up. I haven't been playing ranked all that much until just now, because branded structure is cool, and then they got a solo mode with Sky Striker with animations. That was tough. That was cool. So if you'd prefer like a replay style thing, then let me know. If you'd prefer me to just like hop on, do some live in studio kind of duels and just see what happens, I can do that too. Anything sort of adjacent to that, you let me know if you have a preference or if you'd like to see that sort of thing. It would give me some more stuff to make and more stuff to do. And then the third thing is I haven't posted much in the past couple months, or really at all. I've done like a couple community posts because in TCG I've been playing Malice, and I love that deck. That deck is so gas. It's so fun to play. I think the format right now is really fun in TCG, as well as Master Duel. Tenpai just got a bunch of hits in Master Duel, which thank God. So that's looking up too. Like I said, Max C has been semi-limited. That's pretty sick, actually. Hopefully by the end of the year it'll be banned. That would be amazing. So I'm having fun in both formats, and I want to make TCG related stuff, but it might not be as much branded going forward, just because I'm enjoying playing a meta deck for once, like a straight up tier 1 meta deck for once. But branded is a big part of this channel's identity. It's still like my favorite deck. Like, the cards are just sick. You can't convince me otherwise. So at the very minimum, through Master Duel, I feel like I can do a lot more branded related stuff regularly. trying to think if there's anything else before the last bit. I guess we'll just go to the last bit. So I forget to save replays a lot. What's up, Ray? Yeah. All right. I forget to save replays a lot, and that's something like I will have to remember more moving forward. If people would prefer like a replay style video for Master Duel. But I figured I could just show off 2 replays today. This one I'm actually not playing Branded, I'm playing Vanquish Soul, but we were playing against Branded, and I just thought it was kind of a hype game. I always like playing against Branded. Like, I hear the complaints sometimes that people will say like, oh yeah, I get why X deck is fun to play, but I don't like playing against it. But for me, Branded is fun no matter what. I love the games that Branded creates when it's not puppet locking, which is banned, by the way, in Master Duel. Very cool. But Vanquish Soul is another deck I really love to play in general, and especially on Master Duel. So, Max C, with this hand, we can kind of just draw and pass with Borger, so I'm not worried about that. Set called by Imperm. We have a draw or burn, but it's probably just going to be draw. We're obviously going to hit the Max C at some point. Gold Sark, we see it's Mercurier. I'm like, okay, that's Branded. You know, there's no question about that. That's Branded. So I'm like, I gotta draw into Ash, preferably. I draw into Thrust, which I was playing, I think at the time, this is like the end of last year. I was playing Thrust in Vanquish Soul, mainly to help with going second for possible board breakers, but also because this was during like Tenpai meta. If I went first and I got hand trapped, I would just set the barrier. So, not in my TCG list, but in my Master Duel list. Okay, so here, this looks weird. This looks very weird, but it actually kind of came up later because I was like, dude, I'm not about to deal with an Albaz fusion at some point later. In addition to like not having Ash for Branded Fusion and all that stuff. And also, if he does have Cartesia in hand, and this is his way of getting her on the board, I stopped that right away. So I actually called by Albaz. So, okay, he goes Fusion Deployment, that's fine. We chain Max C, of course. He Max C'd me, I Max C him, you know. It's all fair and balanced. And he goes for card. So he kind of had card access anyways, that's fine. Quem send Branded Sword, which, I mean, you're based for that. What can I say, dude? I don't even play this card. But it's pretty cool. And then he goes Branded Fusion. So, yeah. I just gotta let that fly. And the sucky part is, too, because he has Cartesia out, this Imperm is kind of only good for a select few things, and one of them is not going to be Lubellion. And of course, after Lubellion summon, we draw Ash from the Maxi, which is hilarious. But okay, you know, we got a real game going. That's fine with me. Big chain links here. Lubellion Fusion. Quem is reborning Kit, which I actually kind of like. That's kind of cool. And then Saronir to send to Grave, which is, I believe, just going to be the Retribution. And then we chain Caesar to tag in for Borger. And then he does the Branded Sword to add Merc to hand. Which, sure, that's a cool card, but I don't think I'd ever really play it. Not for me, but it's a cool card. Okay, so we go Caesar. Obviously, Mirror Jade's coming out in a second. And I'm just desperately hoping to draw into an Earth, at the very least, so that I force a Mirror Jade crash, rather than it just getting banished for no reason. So we got Mirror Jade, of course, very scary. Because Mirror Jade, for Vanquish Soul, is, like, really problematic a lot of the time, because Mirror Jade doesn't target. So, like, targeting things, I love that when I'm playing Vanquish Soul, because I can just tag out. I'm like, yeah, I don't care, Imperms aren't real. Like, targeted destruction is not real. But Mirror Jade, it's like, I could tag out, but whatever I tag in is just getting eaten alive. So I was desperately hoping for an Earth. I did not get an Earth, but I have crazy follow-up with all the fire attributes. So, here, he goes Battle Phase, Mirror Jade Banish. Which, Sure. But this does low-key get punished by Imperm. Not really. He still gets to send for cost, but it does keep Caesar on board, so then I am still forcing the crash. Whereas if he did this in main phase, and then I had to Imperm because I don't have an Earth in hand, he could Cartesia it away. And then on end phase, like, I mean, you could do a number of things. You could, like, end phase search High Spirits, and then, or set High Spirits, trigger Quem, like, early in the next turn. Branded in red, similar thing. Quem, Reborn, Mirror Jade. Like, you're getting it back. But I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's fine. So we negate Mirror Jade. He still gets Albion Engrave. We crash. Mirror Jade effect. I take some damage. That's fine. I have plenty of freaking cards in hand. I just have no Earths. Then we go Albion, or they go Albion, and I Ash that because, I mean, at this point, there's really not a good Ash target anywhere. I drew it one summon too late off of Max C, so at least I'll keep him off of Branded in Red, hopefully, or something else. He has not gone through Retribution yet. Board wipe does not matter. So we go main phase here. We start with Raisin. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. And of course, we do it in the Cartesia column just to threaten this in the future. And I think he saw that coming. So he's ripping this as early as possible. One, to just avoid it getting popped on the next chain. But he wants to bring back Mirror Jade more importantly. So that's also fine. And then it's just Grang, I believe. Yeah, okay. Grang is fine. We search a Caesar. And then, since I can't pop, I still really need a second body on the board. So I still activate Rosin, but I am only revealing a fire just so it can't be destroyed. Doesn't matter. The only reason I'm doing this is to trigger Jiaolong on the next chain to get another Vanquish Soul on the board. The reason this is so important, as I said before, is when Mirror Jade doesn't target, if my one Vanquish Soul body on the board gets cooked, then that just blows. Like, that sucks so bad. So if I can get Jiaolong on the board, I can at least still tag in Borger and Caesar, and I can play the game even through a Mirror Jade Banish. So Jiaolong comes down. Grang, that's fine, doesn't matter. And then he goes for the Banish again here. I chain Jiaolong for a search so that I can get the other Caesar, and then I have all my attributes. And then I believe... Does he banish Rosin? Oh, he does. Okay. That kind of makes sense. And then we do go Thrust Talents, and we take Mirror Jade. Because, I mean, there's nothing else on his field that's, like, really online anymore. Quem already did her thing. I don't care about Lulu. Like, you can't convince me Lulu's good. I think that card is so trash. I always have... and then Albaz here is really funny. Because we tag in Borger. He goes Albaz effect. But if you recall, last turn I called by the Albaz, so this is actually negated. I was like, yeah, nice hand loop, little bro. But we go for a draw, and then we go tag in Caesar. It's like, yeah, you're not taking Mirror Jade back, my brother. I'm telling you, that called by was big brain. Yeah. All right, so then we go battle, punch Quem, punch Albaz. And I'm really trying to avoid, for as long as possible, giving them the Lulu Grave effect. And I thought it was more important to keep the Albaz and Quem off the field. And then we go Caesar pop a back row. That's Retribution, which... Couldn't he have... Wait a minute. That was Retribution the whole time? I feel like he could have... No, maybe he couldn't have? I need to watch that sequence again, actually, because he had Jade on board, Albion Engrave. I think it wasn't until I had... Oh, no, I see the problem. So, I think when he was reborning Mirror Jade, that was when I chained to get Jiaolong on the board. So if he chained Retribution, I would lose a Vanquish Soul body, but then Mirror Jade wouldn't come back. So there really wasn't a good time for him to Retribution, I don't think. I'd have to watch that again. Then we go SP, and we banish the Titaniclad. Again, I don't really care about Lulu all that much because I have the trap. So even if they go battle phase, like, I'm fine next turn. But I want to get rid of that Titaniclad end phase effect no matter what. And then Lulu, whatever, chain SP, don't care. Wasn't going for you anyways. Retribution for Branded Fusion, sure, yep. We do have a second Ash in hand, so that's fine. And then this is probably coming up as like my favorite parts of this duel. I still remember it. This is because it wasn't that long ago, but I don't know. he tried to pull the fast one. Cartesia add back, of course, sure. And then I have to discard Border, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I know he has Branded Fusion in hand. He summons Cartesia, sets a card, and activates Allure of Darkness. I'm like, my brother. I'm not ashing that. Who do you think I am? I am not ashing that. Then we go SP to force a Cartesia. But I think he might only play one Grand Guignol. Because he does not chain it here. So I was like, okay, sure. Allure of Darkness, he hits nothing. And then he goes Branded Fusion. I'm like, yeah. Let me ash that. Tried to pull a fast one. No way, dude. I'm not stupid. Okay, and then battle phase. Don't care about the 25. That's fine, dude. These two come back. And then I was still afraid of a Grand Guignol. Because, like, most Branded builds play two. But I think he might have only been playing one. So just in the draw phase, I do the Vanquish Soul trap with all three attributes. This will summon a Vanquish Soul, wipe the field except for Vanquish Soul monsters, and do some burn. So we get in there, bam, boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow. We go for the Borger burn because it's just hilarious. And then that brings Jialong on. Which, again, having two bodies is ideal. The really funny part here, though, is I go for Rock just to add back, keep it going, just in case he has something ridiculous set. I don't even know what it would be, genuinely. Like, you never know if it's like Fusion Dupe or something ridiculous. It's been sitting there all game. So I go Caesar to pop it, and then it's a freaking Book of Eclipse. I'm like, oh my god, did I just throw this like 4 game? And I'm like, wait a minute. No. No, I'm fine. Tribute summon Borger for game. Let's go. So, yeah, and then admit defeat. But I thought that was a good game. I thought that was pretty fun. Called by Albaz, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, went stupidly hard. And then this is a game from literally today. The Fiendsmith stuff is out now. Which, actually, we can look. This is just like, it's Rescue Ace, and then just like every slop engine you can think of. It's just like, it's Rescue Ace, it's Fiendsmith, it's Azamina, it's Snake Eye. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? That Appaloosa, like, oh, hell no. But we went second with Branded and won the game. So, yeah, it was cool. It was fun, you know. I was actually a little surprised I won. I will say that there were 1 or 2 times I feel like on their part there could have been a different decision that was made. Also, I love the Sky Striker Field song. That's nice. So we can probably fast forward to parts of this, because obviously I don't have hand traps. They go for some Azamina stuff, get original with Murcielago. And then they summon out Rescue Ace Hydrant, which searches Turbulence, and I'm like, yikes. I hate playing against the 4 back row. And then I see the Fiendsmith stuff. I'm like, oh, brother. That's ridiculous, dog. But whatever, dude. They go Sequence to make Lacrima. And then, say, surprisingly, they don't go into, like, Desiree or anything. They just go for Appaloosa, so, okay. a lot more cringe than Desiree, in my opinion. But whatever. Recycle, draw, and then they go the Turbulence. Oh, brother, set 4. I'm not hating on Rescue Ace for the record. I have a friend that loves Rescue Ace, but the rest of this deck, I'm just like, oh, yuck. I'm like low-key a hater. Engraver, summon back. It's some of this stuff is like a little weird, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I would have played this out exactly the same way he did. But he basically ends on a Rescue Ace body, which is the book, Preventer of the Book, SP, Appaloosa, and 3 back row, which are alive because he has a Rescue Ace, which is pretty yikes. But I see what I can get away with until then. So we start, obviously, this does nothing now, this does nothing now, and if I start with normal summon Albaz, it just gets negated by 4 different things, potentially 5, depending on what's in their hand. That could be an Appaloosa negate, unless I did Branded Lost first, but if I do Branded Lost first, then it's SP tag it out, or both Rescue Ace traps will just eat Albaz alive. So I have to start Fusion Deployment just to give myself more options. If they interrupt Cartesia, then I potentially have more room to do stuff with Albaz. So we go Fusion Deployment, they go Rescue, which is Special Summon, sure, whatever, and then they Maxi after I Droplet for 2. One thing I will say too is this Droplet for 2, obviously I'm going to negate Appaloosa and SP. That's just, those are the biggest like annoyances for this current hand especially. I feel like if I were them, I would have maybe chained SP, but I also understand that, like, well, if SP tags out 2 bodies, then that's almost taking care of 2 bodies anyway, but I'm going for Appaloosa especially. So, like, I don't know. If they take away 2 bodies, though, Droplet just fizzles at this point, because I can only negate 1 thing, so, like, even that logic doesn't really make any sense. But anyways, renegate Appaloosa and SP. That gives us some nice breathing room. We still have some work. We are now under Max C as well, so we thrust. I don't thrust for Branded Fusion. And I think I could have, but there's just, I don't know. I feel like I just needed more room to work, more options in general. So I go Talents, and this also potentially checks for other things. But nothing doing, that's fine. We go Regain, and then we go Lost. And then as soon as they see, okay, well, if I let Lost resolve and then I let them cook, then I'm not going to be able to respond, which is true. But I still think chaining this here to Cartesia is wrong, because I can just chain Cartesia. And then it forces you to chain the other trap. So, shouldn't have done that. You just wait for the Cartesia fusion, and then you chain a trap. And I think this actually, like, was the biggest misplay on their part. The Droplet was also a misplay. You could have every broken-ass engine in the game, but that's a huge misplay. And then after all that, Albaz, my brother, my goat. Normal summon Albaz, pitch Retribution, fuse into Jade. If you play Branded long enough, like, you know what that feeling is like. You waste all your cards to sift through their BS, and then you just go normal summon or fusion deploy Albaz. It's like, ah, now we got a game. So I banish the big body preventer. I just don't want to deal with that thing ever. And then here, now that we have, oh, we search my courier, of course. Good old Birdman. At this point, I also don't care about SP, because if they ever SP anything of mine and itself, I'm just going to regain, put it back, and draw. So I just punch over Hydrant. Whatever. I don't want them searching another Rescue Ace too easily. We go Titanic Clad on end phase, summon Quem. And we can't add back Cartesia here because of the Rescue Ace trap. Also, its effects are negate, or no, is it that one or this one? Yeah, so it was this one. It was destroy the targeted monster, which was Cartesia. And then if you control Hydrant, which they did, your opponent cannot activate the effects of that destroyed monster or monsters with its same name this turn. So we can't add back card, but we go Quem, send Branded Fusion, so we have follow-up Retribution that we pitched off Albaz. So we're fine. We really only have like 2 disruptions right now, being Mercurier and Quem, because Mirror Jade is offline for the time being. I just hold this Mercurier for what I think is the scariest. They punch over Quem, which I can't really do much about that. That's kind of okay. They go Poplar, and then I'm like, okay, that's not scary. I don't care about that. Like, you used Original. There's, like, unless you play another target, but I really doubt it, which they don't. They go for Promethean, probably because they realize SP is useless right now. And then I actually thought Poplar effect does not matter. We don't care. As a Mina card, add back. And then they go Promethean. I thought about Mercuriering this, but I'm like, what am I really stopping if I do that? Probably not much. I mean, whatever. Add an Airlifter. It's fine. Because until I see, like, the Rescue Ace field spell, I kind of don't care what Hydrant is doing either. It's just kind of whatever. I don't even get this, by the way. I don't know why they went Sunlight Wolf just to immediately link it off again. Okay, no add back from Grave. Maybe they couldn't swing it. But regardless, oh, that's why. I'm stupid. Because they were locked to fires with Promethean Princess. They had to get it off the board. Okay, that makes sense. Then they go Moon, which of course is Fiendsmith stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I'm stopping Requiem with the Swiftness. No, easiest mark of my life. But it didn't matter anyway, because they did have Called by the Grave. Which sucks. But we can at least regain draw. It's something. And I am the top deck god in this game, as you'll see in a second. And then on the new chain, we go Regained 1, Mercurier 2. Even though Mercurier is negated, we chain block against like Ogre or something stupid. So put it back and draw. We draw into Branded Called by the Grave. Another Engraver. And then I believe here they do go for Desiree, which is also weird. Because Desiree doesn't really do anything to my current, like, situation. Like, I have a Mirror Jade, and they know I have Branded Fusion in hand. Which, you'll see in a second, they think that's enough, but it's not. Because Branded Called by the Grave, as I said. So obviously we have to bait Desiree. Banish, negate, he negates Jade and Branded Lost. Which, yeah, I'd do the same thing. Unless you're really holding out for Branded Fusion. Which actually is crazy, because they had Ash. They're like, oh yeah, we're good for that. And I say, no, you're not. So, yeah. You get to fuse again. And then, I was thinking here too, because it's going to be a little weird to OTK no matter what. Simply because as soon as I out Desiree, it's going to send something from my board anyways. And I only have one other card in hand, so I do still go for Albion, just because I want another Albion in the graveyard to do something. And I don't want to discard this necessarily, just in case something else happens. Branded Lost is negated, but again, chain blocking, you never know. We banish those two, and we actually go for Masquerade, because I noticed their deck has a lot of freaking steps. So I'm gonna give Masquerade sticks. That might just win me the game anyway. Top deck Alubur. Get Branded in red. And then we go battle Mirror Jade into Desiree. And then Masquerade, make them pay taxes. So here it's like, okay, you can either get rid of Mirror Jade or send one of these two, which I don't care about, that have not attacked. Or you send Masquerade, which he sends Masquerade. Understandable. Have a nice day. Fair enough. So we punch Tribute just to have Albion engrave again. And we just set those two. And then I just grab a Branded in white. I could have also potentially... This is probably a misplay on my part, actually, looking back. I probably should have added Branded in white off of Alubur. and then set red off of Albion. But yep, you live and you learn. But anyway, cart back to hand. Branded in red is crazy. That's really the most important piece here. And then dude, I was thinking, I was like, dude, if I let them go into Requiem again, I'm gonna hate myself. Like, this could just end the turn. And I don't shuffle it back with Regained. You're not getting that back. And they passed. Sometimes that works, dude. In a grind game, sometimes that works if they don't have the other Fiendsmith stuff. And then draw phase, we go High Spirits. Just do Search Mercurier. Because he is not negated anymore from the called by several turns ago. Just in case they have like a Bestial or something silly. And then we attack for game. That was a fun game, but there was a key misplay by me, I think, like I said, with Branded in white. And a lot of weird plays by them. That's an odd deck list in general, I think. But there were some like very key moments. Like, I feel like letting the Droplet go was kind of whack. Like, if they SP tag out in response to Droplet, I can go Thrust for Branded Fusion, and I have to go Branded Fusion or else I'm just cooked. And then it's like, it's Ash or Die, which I didn't really want to risk that if I didn't have to. Which is why I just went Talents, draw 2, tried to play some other stuff, make them freak out a little bit, and then go Albaz. But yeah, anyways, that's enough yapping for today. So thank you for watching. Again, if you want to play Master Duel, if you're a new or returning, and you want to play Branded, enter that code. Enter anybody else's code that you find, and get your free stuff. Have a blast. Good luck in your duels. So yeah, good to be back. Good to talk to you all again. And I hope to be back very, very soon with more stuff. Again, let me know what you'd like to see in the Master Duel realm of things. I'm very open to suggestions. So peace out and take care.